we know that the content of the character of a man is what determines what the man is. So if he is like Christ, then he must be good. For who disagreed with Christ? Not Islam, not Hindu, not any of the religions, even the unbelievers. A lot of people find his word and the gospel to be a very respectable position that they can agree with, but they don't agree with those that look like and claim to be Christians. And that is a question for you to answer yourself right now. Are you sowing a good seed? Good seed is not what just comes from your mouth, but by your life. If we examine everything that you have done, does that represent Christ? Does that represent Christ? The field of the world. And as for the good seed, these are the sons of the kingdom, and the tares are the sons of the evil one. Christ, in his word, identify there are two sides, the good ones and the evil ones. So it's important for you to ask yourself, on which side are you? Are you on good side because you said you are on good side? He goes further to say that tares are gathered up and burned with fire. So shall it be at the end of the age. We are not yet at that end of the age. We are not yet at that end of the age. So there will be a time when they will be gathered and be burned. A son of man and his angel, and they will gather out of the kingdom all stumbling blocks and those who commit lawlessness. And this is verse 41, and I'm reading from Matthew 13. But you remember in the script that we read earlier, the Lord described himself to say, and for his apostles, that he remember he was teaching them closely, just as I'm always teaching you. And sometimes I come to you so that I can be close to you to teach you in person and in a very personal manner, so that it will not be you hearing in the podcast alone or coming in the congregation and seeing and with everybody. Those that are seeking to know who their God is, who is Christ, the one on whom seed was sown on the rocky places. This is the man who hears the word and immediately receives it with joy. You find somebody is preaching and you may be saying, oh, he's a good preacher. He is so good. He knows the scriptures and all that stuff. And then after you take all that word, what happens next? You receive it with joy. Yet, he has no firm root in himself, but is only temporary. And when affliction and persecution arises because of the word, immediately he falls away. You remember Peter? He received the word with joy. He is always presumptuous and zealous and passionate to receive the word of the Almighty God. But when persecution came, he denied Christ. I don't know that man. I've told you about several persecutions, and even last week, Sabbath, I was telling you about the plot by some agents in government and looking to assassinate and find somebody to assassinate me. Or the things I told you about Google and X, who themselves seized my property and things, intellectual property, as if it's their own, because they want to silence me. Or is it up to Maryland and previously, even the Department of Health and Human Services, that Health and Department of DHMH, Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, which is now defunct because they ended up changing their name, where some agents there then tried. But you saw what the Lord did to them. I did not shift or move, not to be afraid of persecutions and attempts and plots and the things and people, companies, even now, making every attempt, thinking that should be terrified and be afraid. People that Satan uses in order to see whether I shall shut my mouth and not proclaim the gospel anymore. But it's just because of their ignorance. There are people who are terrified because they have been cancelled and they give up the faith. They running for their life. But that's not the way of the soldiers. That the soldiers are people who have dedicated themselves to that, to at all costs, even if it costs you your life, not to be afraid. But God never let you down because God will always be there in your defense as He's always been in my defense. That's the word of the soldiers. The soldier do not go to war and run away when the firing gets hard. He goes to fight until he falls. And we are the soldiers, those who are in the spirit. A man cannot fight with the spirit, for there is no way a man can defeat the spirit. Because you can only fight what you see. That even what you see is not what is in him. But you see the hand of the Lord always working wonders and miracles in the defense of those. Like the other day I mentioned the governor and the attorney general at the time. They ended up leaving the state because they put their hands on the anointed of the Lord and the Lord chased them away. Like those that he killed with terminal diseases in the process of trying to get to me. Those that their careers are destroyed, their families are destroyed, their marriage were destroyed, their everywhere to the accumulated were destroyed. Nations that the Lord's hands have rested upon them and destroyed them, turned them against one another in defense of his own. So when I see you as a Christian and you proclaim to be a Christian and you have no courage, it tells to the testament of how